This Coldcard hack continues to get worse. Over $100 million worth of Bitcoin has been stolen so far. But there's new information coming to the surface. Like, who's responsible for introducing the bug in the first place? And there's some strange information popping up too. I've got questions. Like, why is most of the Bitcoin sitting in just a few addresses? Why is Scott Bessent's top crypto advisor quitting just days before the Clarity Act and after all of this saga begins? Why is it all happening at the same time as Trump Media and Jim Cramer are selling all their Bitcoin and telling everyone about it? And much worse, was it possible that this attack was forecasted years ago by the very people who got exploited? We've got a lot of questions and a lot to cover. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Let's go. What is this? This is a screenshot proving that the code changes in Coldcard's library switch were digitally signed by Peter Gray, CoinKite CTO. These happened in August of 2021. His email address, conalgo.com. In Spanish, that could mean with algo, or in English, according to its site, it's a combination of two words, constructing algorithms, which Peter Gray has been doing since 2000. So you know that he's great at what he does, which makes this one line of code all the more suspicious. Or could ConAlgo have a completely different meaning? Just 2 months after this bug was introduced, a random user on Twitter, BLK014, asks, what's a retirement attack? To which Coldcard responds, it's when project makers could have a bug in entropy that allows for a future attack. Interesting. One of the craziest parts about this whole thing is that one of the most powerful features of Bitcoin is its transparency. You can see every transaction and everything that happens on the blockchain. It's there, it's stored, it's verified, and it's there forever, which makes it one of the worst places for criminals to enact a crime. And so all of these wallet drains are now being tracked. There's a great project out there that's tracking all of the routes, all of the flows, all of the funds, and the bugs, and all of the updates themselves technically. And so you have to ask yourself, why is all of this Bitcoin sitting in just a few addresses? When the hackers who are smart enough and sophisticated enough to pull this off would know that they cannot spend this Bitcoin in the future. Whenever this Bitcoin moves, the entire world will be watching. Authorities, governments, and citizen hackers like ourselves. The hackers would surely know this. And this begs the question, is this a more coordinated effort than we originally anticipated? Is there a larger entity here who potentially doesn't care about the Bitcoin that was stolen? One thing is for sure, it's not out of the question that a large government or a large entity with a lot of resources could pull this off. This was actually executed by our own government just a few months ago.
It's, here, they have at it. So we've frozen Iranian bank accounts
after they started getting bombed by Iran.
Yes, but it was a big strategic
mistake
failure on the financial side.
And you jumped right in.
And we jumped right in, and they've been very good partners. I believe that we have seized about $1 billion of their crypto, and
just outright seized it.
Just outright grabbed the wallets. Some of them may be like typing in right now and realize they might not realize that their wallet had been grabbed. And we are working with our allies all over Europe to grab villas and houses and properties. And this is money that's stolen from the Iranian people.
But you've frozen the offshore accounts. I mean, people may not understand that the Revolutionary Guard, they own so many of the businesses. They've been stealing money from the Iranian people.
Remember when Scott Bessent said that people could check their wallets and their Bitcoin wouldn't be there? Yeah, that was for Iran. But why couldn't it be for someone else? Also, speaking of Scott Bessent and things that are unrelated and just coincidental, his top crypto advisor, Tyler Williams, just stepped down just a few days or a few months before the Clarity Act passing, the most historic bill. And it said that he was extremely influential in carrying out the president's plans of making America the crypto capital of the world. So why after this saga does he randomly quit and step down, and just before the announcement of the largest bill that's passed for this entire industry? Seems strange. Speaking of the Trump family, you know what else is odd? Trump Media is selling $165 million worth of Bitcoin. I thought that they were bullish on Bitcoin. I thought that we didn't know how much capital was about to flow into the Bitcoin industry. So why are they selling? Odd timing for the Trump family. And speaking of media, what about Jim Cramer? Jim Cramer's always the public signal for something else that's going on. And it's odd that a few days ago he had an interview with the CEO of IBM talking about how you've got 3 to 4 years before your crypto funds are hacked by quantum computing, in which he publicly said that he would sell all of his Bitcoin.
I have some crypto. When I think about the equations that people tell me could never be cracked to get to my crypto, it sounds to me like the University of Chicago announcement. Should I be more careful?
I think that you should give yourself 3 or 4 years, and at that point, I would get rather paranoid about it.
Really? 3 or 4 years? That's not that long.
No, that's not that long.
Oh boy.
No, I realize I'm waiting. Ethereum, not really, maybe even worse. So I think that people have to take this man seriously because they're doing commercial quantum. And this Chicago study basically cracked a number. It did an equation that no one thought could ever be solved. So
right.
Isn't that also what you think about Bitcoin? Now, there'll be people in Bitcoin who say, look, I don't know what you're talking about, Jim. You don't know anything. I don't have to know anything. I asked the questions. I didn't give the answer. But Arvin Christian knows quantum incredibly. He knows Bitcoin and quantum. And I'm going to sell mine.
You are?
Yes, absolutely.
Really? Just on what he said?
Well, he's the man. He's the man. 3-4 years. David, you know when 3-4 years is going to happen?
By the way,
tomorrow.
Did he give you any reassurances in terms of what happened last quarter?
I felt yes. I don't know if we have a little sound about how things are going since then, but yeah.
Okay. We don't have that, actually.
We don't. Well,
so tell me.
It made me feel a little better. Some things that had been deferred coming through.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think the stock's way overdone at the downside.
All right. Well, important interview there. Let's come back.
Not everything you see is exactly like how it is. In this clip from training camp, Aaron Rodgers with Pat McAfee just reminded me of this. He talks a lot about the whole Fauci ordeal, about how media put all of the attention on him and how he was a bad teammate and putting all of his teammates at risk and his vaccination status. But yet, they don't cover the exact people that were a part of this coordinated effort. This won't be the first time that a narrative will be twisted. And I'm going to show you exactly what they're going to do to this Bitcoin narrative, even though you shouldn't fall for it. But before we do that, let's get to our sponsors. Ledn has been the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018, issuing over $100 billion worth of loans to Bitcoiners. You post your Bitcoin as collateral into their platform and they give you fiat dollars in less than 6 hours. No credit checks. You get to be your own bank. You get to see your Bitcoin in cold storage so you know that it's not being lent out or rehypothecated. Be your own bank today. And in light of all of these situations going on, we're so thankful for the team at the Bitcoin Way, who will help you be prepared with multi-sig, running a private node, setting up your own keys, maintaining sovereignty over your keys in situations like these. Schedule a free 30-minute meeting with the team at thebitcoinway.com, and they'll walk you through step-by-step how to protect your Bitcoin and your keys. I want to help ground us a bit here. This Coldcard incident is nothing short of tragic. It's brutal. It's one of the worst things that I've ever seen. I've never seen the sentiment in the Bitcoin community be so low. But let's also put this in perspective. This is just a fraction of the Bitcoin that's been lost in much larger hacks where people have entrusted their own Bitcoin to large institutions. Let's start off with Mt. Gox, 700,000 Bitcoin loss, or Celsius, 235,000 Bitcoin loss. So far, there's only been 1,000 to 2,000 Bitcoin stolen in this hack. And that is meaningful. These are people's life savings. This is people's real money. But the media is going to twist this out of proportion, and we're fueling the flames right now. We hope that there's going to be some meaningful way for people to recover their funds, their hard-earned savings. And there's a strong possibility that this stuff goes to court. But despite all of this, from this, the Bitcoin community will get stronger. It will get better. Right now, there's a red team out there that's using the same AI agents that were used to find this Coldcard exploit to protect Bitcoin, to protect Bitcoiners and Bitcoin products. They're working around the clock to point out vulnerabilities that they found using Kimi 3 and all of these different projects and libraries, and alerting the developers and people who've posted this code personally. Bitcoin is going to get stronger from this, despite what it feels like and what it looks like right now on the surface. Bitcoiners are being reminded of a thing that's true in Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ethos. Don't trust, verify. And that goes for media influencers and people like myself, who you all put a lot of faith and trust in. Don't just take the things that we say on the surface at face value. Go under the surface and look a little bit deeper. Read the fine print for yourself. I'm not saying that we need to live in a trustless world. That's a terrible way to live. We need to trust people, trust family, trust people close to us. We're human. We're relational. But that doesn't mean that we don't do our checks and balances and our due diligence. Be safe out there. One of the most trusted ways you can earn Bitcoin is by earning Bitcoin directly from the Bitcoin network itself through Bitcoin mining. Be a participant. Broadcasting transactions onto the network are one of the ways that we can keep a verifiable ledger of truth and history. And you're participating in that, and you can also earn from that with a company like Saz Mining. They'll connect you with a Bitcoin miner and send sats straight to your wallet. Use the QR code to get started. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Happy stacking.